Yo, what's cracking everyone? Ericship 111 here. So, as most of you know, recently IGN dropped its very first raw, uncut gameplay of Forza Horizon 6. And while the footage may have left some within the community a little worried, thankfully Playground Games, Turn 10 and IGN have all spoken up to clear many of our concerns, including traffic density turned down, HDR unintentionally being left on, which washes out the color saturation more than it should, as well as admitting that the entire point of the gameplay was to simply showcase the game's environment and map design. Now, whether you guys believe all of this or not is entirely up to you, but for myself, apart from the 30 frames per second the gameplay was recorded on, I still can't wait for the game's release, and in today's video we're going to look at 8 exciting details from the newest Forza Horizon 6 gameplay that you need to know. Starting off with number 1, 662 roads to discover. So according to this pre-release gameplay footage, it looks as if Horizon 6 will have the largest amount of roads to discover in any Horizon game. Now, what I do find quite fascinating is that from the entire gameplay footage, they only managed to complete 2 full roads that actually counted, which to me is a good thing, because if you've played any of the true older Horizon games, a lot of the roads back then were actually quite short, and if you were to drive around the map for as long as this raw gameplay, chances were you probably would have discovered more than a handful of roads. Now, do keep in mind that the total number of 662 may not be the final amount at launch, and we know this because back in Forza Horizon 5, when Playground Games revealed some pre-release gameplay during their Let's Go livestream, we once saw that Mexico would feature 603 roads, which of course wasn't the case, as it ended up being cut down to only 578 in the final game. Number 2, Airport. Now, for those with a very keen eye, in the gameplay just after discovering the Ito region, on the bottom left corner on the minimap, you can see what looks like an airport runway layout. Now, after doing some research on Google Maps, out of the many airports that do exist in Japan, I'm not exactly sure which airport this is, or even if it's a proper one-to-one recreation. A user on Reddit suspected it may be Mount Fuji's Shizuoka Airport, which could be true, but my personal belief is that this is a stylized version of Narita Airport, purely based on the diagonal roads that link between the two runways. I'm not too sure, but regardless, I would love for this to be portrayed as a live functioning airport, not necessarily with planes taking off, but also not something abandoned like we had in Forza Horizon 5. What's also interesting to note is that since drag meets will be completely revamped in Forza Horizon 6, where players can now just join a drag race at any point similar to a car meet, I wonder if this airport runway will host one of those drag meet events. Number 3, new real Japanese locations spotted. Speaking of real one-to-one recreations, the latest Horizon 6 gameplay was packed with many that we haven't seen as of yet. The first one comes from the very beginning of the footage right here on the left, so this is the Shirahige Shrine, which is of course located near the floating shrine that the developers revealed in the first biome teaser, which further confirms that this floating shrine is indeed the Shirahige Shrine Tori and not the Itsukushimi or Hakone Shrine like many had thought. Then we get several glimpses of Rainbow Bridge in the background, once here in the overview looking towards the city skyline, and another as we enter the expressway. There's a lot of Japanese street racing history behind this bridge, as well as games like Assetto Corsa with the Shutoko map mod keeping its rich underground legacy alive. Fun fact, I've driven here before in a Toyota Supra and it was absolutely beautiful. The next location is the Sata Pass, which was even acknowledged in the gameplay footage. Here is how the real world counterpart looks like. Then we have a couple more places, one that I was very happy I got correct based on the boats that were shown in the very first biome teaser clip, and that was the fishing village in Ine, Kyoto. This boat shed, if you will, is the exact location someone spotted over on Reddit, and of course right in the background here you can see all of the boathouses or funaya replicating Ine respectfully. And lastly, we have this bridge, which again was acknowledged by the game itself as a discovered area. Now in real life, this place is nowhere near the main island of Japan, and it's a lot longer too, but still very cool to see. But have I missed out on any more new locations? If so, let me know down in the comments section below. Number 4, new events. In this gameplay, I believe 4 new events were spotted. The first was a street racing event called the Rainbow Bridge Descent, which, judging by the name, probably has something to do with racing down towards Tokyo's Rainbow Bridge at night. Next is a new Horizon story called Ito Day Trip, which I think has something to do with one of the new Horizon characters called Mei, who will provide us with cultural insights and introductions on our journey throughout Japan. Then we also discover another Horizon story near the Ine boathouses called Automotozine, and the icon that appears on the minimap is a camera. Now in Forza Horizon 5 we had something similar where we had to capture some cool moments, but I wonder how will this Horizon story in Horizon 6 be implemented? Could we be car spotting some aftermarket vehicles in front of certain houses, or maybe we are taking photos for a JDM magazine? I don't exactly know, but hopefully it's something engaging. And then lastly, we have the ongoing in-game Horizon time attack circuit, which was shown at the very end. Now this track looks to be different to the one shown from the developers direct, meaning that there's at least 2 circuits featured in Forza Horizon 6. Number 5, petrol stations. Now, one of the biggest things that everyone was talking about was the inclusion of petrol stations. There were 3 in total that were seen, 2 in Tokyo City and 1 out in the countryside. Now, for those who may not know, the last time a Horizon game featured a petrol station was back in Forza Horizon 3, and back then the station served no real purpose. Now for Horizon 6, my opinion is that it will also not serve any purpose other than making the world of Japan feel more authentic. Why? Well, games like the Forza Horizon series, they're simply allergic to disrupting the flow of driving. That's why there's features like the rewind button existing, refueling, which has not been confirmed at any point by the developers despite what you may have seen in some misleading videos. Nothing about any of the gameplay we have seen even suggests fuel consumption would be a factor. Now granted, in previous Horizon titles, if you set your assist to simulation damage and tire wear, you can actually see your fuel gauge go down as you drive, but your car never stops once it runs out of fuel. Ironically, the last Horizon game that actually stopped your car once you ran out of fuel was back in Forza Horizon 3, but they patched it very quickly. Some are also saying that these stations are used to change your tires because the developers did say that, and I quote, "New cosmetic tire wear means each car responds authentically as you rack up the miles on the iconic Japanese roads." Now, this sentence is actually quite misleading because responds authentically sounds like it's describing a handling or physics change, but since the tire wear is confirmed to be cosmetic, it just means that the tires will look more worn over time. It's marketing language dressed up to sound more impactful than it is, so no, in my opinion, petrol stations won't be a spot for you to change your cosmetically worn tires. Number 6, unannounced car and aftermarket upgrade. So with the traffic density turned down, there were only 3 traffic cars I spotted. We had the 1994 Honda Acti, the 1992 Mitsubishi Galant VR4, which actually has not been announced on Forza's official Horizon 6 car list as of yet, and then of course the 1995 Mitsubishi Montero Exceed 2800 TD, or as I like to call it, the Pajero. Now let's talk about the unannounced Mitsubishi Galant. Sometimes in pre-release footage, we may see some content that has yet to be confirmed. Occasionally, these content don't end up being in the final game due to licensing disagreement, but for this instance, I think we will see the Galant featured in Forza Horizon 6. The question is whether or not it will stay as a traffic car exclusively or drivable at launch, because for many of you that remember, the Galant was solely a traffic car in Horizon 5 all the way until Series 17. So who knows, maybe it'll happen again for Horizon 6. Now moving on to the aftermarket upgrade, in some of the traffic Pajeros, we can see a roof box. Now again, is this aftermarket visual upgrade solely available only to the traffic cars, or will it actually be available for us to install as an overlanding part? Fingers crossed that it will actually be a customizable part for us to upgrade. Number 7, small detail improvements. I know this video may be a bit hard to see, but there were 2 things about the Celine that looks to be much better than in Forza Horizon 5. The first was the exhaust smoke. In quite a lot of instances from the gameplay itself, you can often see fumes coming out from the exhaust, whether it's immediately after a backfire, shifting, or letting off the throttle. It's a nice little detail that did not go unnoticed, and the other, which almost everyone missed, was the significant improvement on the tail light. If we take a close look at the housing and everything within, it's not flat compared to how it was in Horizon 5, it actually replicates depth and reflects everything behind quite nicely. And lastly, number 8, Tokyo City. Unfortunately, we didn't really see much of Tokyo, but we did get a slight tease from the gameplay. Now, the city itself from afar looks incredibly dense. The road network that we can see from the minimap looks promising, as there seems to be plenty of roads to discover. And keep in mind, we only just saw the fringes here. We also got a proper look at the famous Tokyo Tower, which was also teased from the developers direct. But overall, when I compare the architecture and the overall environment based on my own experiences in Japan, ignoring the traffic density being turned down, in my opinion, I do think it looks incredibly promising. But I do want to see more instead of having to use my imagination as to how Tokyo City will look with everything set to default. Kind of like the small tease we got of the NSX drifting in Akihabara. Why Playground Games and Turn 10 has still yet to reveal the full city? I mean, your guess is as good as mine. Perhaps they're still finishing some touches that need to be made before posting a full trailer. I don't exactly know, but at the end of the day, Tokyo is one of the most exciting parts about Forza Horizon 6 that we all want to see. So those are the 8 exciting details from the gameplay reveal for Forza Horizon 6. Which one are you most looking forward to? And more importantly, what have I missed? Share all of your thoughts down in the comment section below, as I do read all of your comments, guys. But anyways, if you guys did enjoy today's video, please make sure to smash the thumbs up button, as it really does help me out. And of course, if you guys would like to stay up to date with everything Forza Horizon 6 related, be sure to subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace.